CGQ Plus.
All right, so a few things to say just right off the top. Obviously, today is April 1st. I don't do like April Fool's Day shenanigans. So I'm just throwing that out there because if somebody's watching this, sort of like waiting, like, ooh, is he gonna? No, I'm not going to. So the fact that I'm making this video today and then it's April 1st is 100% a coincidence. Second, this is sort of like a combo video. Like I really want to kind of get rolling with this whole weekend rental series. But just, cards on the table, this also kind of has a product review like rolled into it. And I don't want anybody watching this just thinking like, oh, is that what we're doing now on this show? It's product reviews. And no, it's not. It's taken me a while to get sort of the setup down here where I feel like now I've got something set up where I can really start making videos on a regular basis, at least for this channel. And I've had just sort of stuff stacked up that I've been meaning to make videos about. And as far as like anything that could be construed as a product review, this is the last one I can think of that's in the queue. And really, the weekend rental episode 1 Glaylancer thing was like a crime of opportunity. And that Big 6 thing, I mean, I did buy that controller with the intention to review it. So this game I bought kind of both. I wanted a copy of the game, but I also figured, well, if I'm going to buy it, I'm going to make a video about it. But I would prefer people to think of it. This is really a video about me talking about why Mega Turrican is one of my favorite games on the Genesis and why you should check it out even if you think you're not a fan of the Turrican series. So, do I have anything else to say before we get started? I don't believe that I do. So, we've already talked about all of the Turrican games previously on the show, but I'll just go over just a quick background, I guess. Turrican originally came out for the Commodore 64 and the Amiga in 1990, but where I first played it was on the Genesis. This came out in 1991. You can see it's an Accolade game, so it comes in this cool cardboard box. And I didn't own this game, but I got it. A friend of mine let me borrow it, like for it was like an extremely extended loan because he didn't like the game and he didn't want it. So and then just the other version of the game that I have here, I'll throw out there. Is it also came out on the TurboGrafx 16, so that's pretty cool. The Genesis version of the game has kind of washed out colors, and in fact, there is a ROM hack out there that sort of fixes the colors and makes them a little bit more vibrant. But if you play the TurboGrafx 16 version of the game, this has much more vibrant colors. But at least in my opinion, either of these games are good if and it's kind of a big if you like old school Turrican games, which is really just Turrican 1 and 2. So speaking of that, I'll wait to switch the camera over. I want to say it was in 1991, Turrican 2, The Final Fight came out again on Commodore 64 and Amiga. It came out on other stuff too. It was on the Atari ST. I think there was even like a ZX Spectrum version, but Turrican got started on the Commodore 64, but to me at least the definitive versions of both of the first two Turrican games are the Amiga versions. So anyway, the next year, 1991, Turrican 2, The Final Fight came out on the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. Again, in my opinion, a great game. We kind of got that here, but not really. What we got, and I did a whole video just about this game. This is Universal Soldier for the Genesis. It's for the Genesis and Mega Drive. I'm not going to keep saying Genesis and Mega Drive. Like, it's a given if I say Genesis, unless it's an exclusive, it's Genesis and Mega Drive. So anyway, this game came out in, was it 1992? I think it came out on the Genesis, and it's basically a ROM hack of Turrican 2. It's got a couple of extra levels in it, and some of the sprites are changed because obviously it's a movie license, a movie tie-in for the Universal Soldier movie. And like I said, I did a whole video about this game, and I think the title of the video is something like Jean-Claude Van Damme stops by the show or something. It has one of my usual stupid titles for videos. So if you like Turrican, you should check out either Turrican 2 or Universal Soldier. But I feel like this video is sort of aimed more at people who maybe don't like the Turrican games, and so maybe they've written off the other ones. And the two games that I think are worthy of your consideration, even if you don't think you like Turrican games, are these two. And I don't have an original copy of Mega Turrican. I used to. I don't know what happened to it. So this is this strictly limited re-release or whatever that we're going to talk about a little bit today. And this is an original copy of Super Turrican. And I know I've mentioned these games on the show before as well. In fact, I think I've played both of these games on live streams. But if you're someone, like I said, who you think you don't like Turrican games, these games both, in my opinion, play a lot more like something like Contra. So if you're into those games, I think you owe it to yourself to check these out. Mega Turrican was supposed to, here, I'll just hold it up. Mega Turrican, there it is, was supposed to come out on the Genesis first and then the Amiga, but for I don't know, publishing reasons or something, it didn't work out that way. So this game came out on the Amiga in '93 and then came out on the Genesis the following year. So there you go. I never knew about this game like back in the day. I would have been all over this if I had known about it, but I didn't. And then Super Turrican, I forgot to look up when it came out, so I don't know. But if you have like a Super NT, I know this game comes built in to the system. It might be. There's also, I should mention that there's also a Super Turrican 2. That one I'm not so keen on. So in my opinion, skip that one. But I got nothing bad to say about the first Super Turrican. But so I wanted to talk a little bit about the strictly limited kind of release and sort of the history there. And I mean, just, I'll give you the gist of it right up front. I'm not a fan. So if you were considering maybe buying something like this, I would say don't. And we're going to go over why. So I actually have, well, before we get into that, actually, we'll get into a little bit of sort of recent history. And that would start in 2021 when this came out. This is, Turrican Flashback. And here, I can also do it that way if you like. Turrican Flashback, this came out for both the PlayStation 4 and the Switch. I got it for the Switch. For some reason, I like buying physical games on the Switch more, I guess, because at least kinda, there's still cartridges. But so this came out I pre-ordered it in late 2020, came out in 2021. And I don't know if you're going to be able to read the back. This is not a zoom lens, so I can't zoom in. But on this collection, you get Turrican, Turrican 2, Mega Turrican, and Super Turrican, which to me, like, perfect, because that's the 4 games that you want to play. I will say when this game came out, like if you whatever version of the game is on here, version 1.0 or whatever, it's a little bit buggy. I read stuff online, people were saying the game crashed, and that definitely happened to me. So if you were to get this, you can still get this, by the way. I just looked. You can also get it digitally, but it's the same price. So why wouldn't you try to get a physical copy? But you need to update it is my point, or it's not going to work right, which kind of sucks. But this game came out. It was $29.99, still $29.99, whether you get it digitally or physically. And like I said, you get all 4 games. And this was published by this company. You're not going to be able to read that, right? It's right down there in the corner. It's ININ. Is it Inin or Enin? There it is back there again. I'd never heard of Inin or Enin or whatever. So, I didn't know who those people were. I don't really care. So, but then the next year, which was last year, 2022, and I don't have these, and I'll explain why. 2 new Turrican collections came out, and it was called the Turrican Anthology like volumes 1 and 2. And those were published by Strictly Limited. And those, you can still buy those digitally. They're $34.99 each, or physically $39.99 each. And I don't know if you can still find the physical versions or not. But so it's 2 separate collections. But the only thing that I think is noteworthy that really got added to that is Super Turrican 2, which I just said I don't think is that good of a game anyway. But, you know, they included like the original versions of the game plus the director's cut versions, which really aren't anything to write home about, and like some, you know, like score attack type modes. And for some reason they decided, well, we'll take that and split it between 2 cartridges and basically charge people double. There's no reason that it's basically, there's like 10 game variations, but you know, that reminds me of like the Atari 2600 days when you'd buy, you know, tennis or something and it would say, oh, there's like 47 games. And it's like, no, there's just one game. It's just 47 like slight variations. I mean, this isn't quite that egregious, but you know, they tried to claim that it was like 10 Turrican games, and it's not, it's 5. And in any case, it should have all been on one collection. I mean, they were already charging $10 more than Flashback was, right? By charging $39 each instead of $29. But then they said, well, let's just double it and put it on 2 releases. And that's pretty crappy. So yeah. And then sometime around the same time, they also released in their storefront, Strictly Limited did, this Mega Turrican Director's Cut, Super Turrican Director's Cut, and a Super Turrican 2, which I don't know if that one's a Director's Cut. And like I've said many times, and I already said once in this video, I used to have a copy of Mega Turrican. I don't know what happened to it. Somehow I still have the manual, which is going to come in handy. And so when I saw that, I was kind of happy, like, oh, I'll get, you know, to me, that's worth it. Because if you want to buy a copy of Mega Turrican, that's like 150 plus to get a complete copy. And that's, you know, I would never suggest to any of you, you know, I'll do dumb things with my own money. I'm not going to tell you guys to do dumb things with your money. But so I went ahead and I bought the games. I actually bought 2 copies because I wanted to check out. Here you can see it came in these 2 variations. You get sort of like what they would consider to be the Genesis variant, and then over here, the Mega Drive variant. And so I wanted to check both of these out. And obviously it's the same game, but you know, I thought it would be cool to check out the 2 different packaging styles. These games are $49.99 each in euros, which probably most of you watching aren't from Europe. I know there's a few of you. And $54.99 US, and that does not include shipping. So shipping, because Strictly Limited is in Germany, so you got to pay international shipping. That I'll give them that. Their hands are tied there, but it's $12.99 shipping, so $13. So if you wanted to buy a copy of one of these games, by the way, both of these are still available on their storefront. If you want one, but I'd watch the rest of the video first, it's going to cost you $68 delivered to your house. And I don't have a problem necessarily paying that for something like this if I feel like what you're getting, like the package is sort of worth it, right? Because they're basically charging the price of a brand new game, but this isn't a brand new game. Like they didn't, you know, Strictly Limited, who, by the way, I should have mentioned this already. Strictly Limited and these IN people are both owned by the same parent company. So, you know, it seems like this one was like sort of published for the masses. Like I just got this one on Amazon, and then the versions of the game published under the Strictly Limited branding, I think these are the games we're going to market towards the collector crowd, which admittedly I'm part of the collector crowd. Anyway, you know, if these had come, you know, as sort of like because if you're going to market something to the collector crowd, I feel like it needs to feel, I don't know, I guess more collectible, even though like, what does that even really mean? Or, you know, you should feel like you're kind of getting like a package, like a nice package, you know, like, oh, this is going to come with, you know, maybe like a soundtrack CD would be nice. but it doesn't come with that. So anyway, I'll switch the view over to tabletop for a while, and we'll check these out, and I'll go over all the good and the bad. So I haven't even opened this one yet. I mean, we can open it, but I'm going to end up giving this one to Coury, but there's no point in opening it. The insides are basically the same. So to go over the good first, I don't know where they're getting these clamshells, but I would sure love to buy, 5 or 6 of them just to keep around. I'm sure I have a few Genesis games that could use new clamshells. And I mean, these feel like original quality. Like for all I know, they could be original quality, but then they would probably have the Sega logo embossed on the inside, which these don't. So yeah, that's nice. I guess we talk about the cover art now. I don't care for the cover art for the North American version. I think this, the strictly limited up the side over here looks kind of awkward, but they were trying to go, stick with the style that the original release had, which came out during the days when Sega had this sort of unified red box art style. And, that would have said Genesis up the side. And obviously strictly limited can't do that for, trademark reasons, I suppose. So, I guess they did what they could with it, but I don't think it looks anywhere near as cool as the European version. You see the actual artwork is, as you would expect, the same, but it's sort of zoomed in a little bit more here. And I really like the way the strictly limited logo looks on the European version. Like that looks way better than this does. And then I don't know, the back looks like it has the same screenshots. The backs look very similar to each other. Anyway, so cover art and clamshell box both good. So that's nice. But it's kind of mostly downhill from here. So we'll go over some of what the stuff is that it comes with first. So this is just what comes in the box when you get it. You get a Turrican postcard, which, I mean, that's neat. I have no problem with that. And then you get a strictly limited sticker, which, I mean, okay, I don't really care, but that's fine. But then this is what you get that passes for the manual. And it's literally a single piece of paper folded in half. I mean, it's nicely printed. I'll give them that, I guess, although it's sort of semi-gloss. And that's all that's there. Here's the controls, and here's the different, symbols / weapons. And that's it. And if that weren't bad enough, it's not even the right size to fit in here properly, right? Like it needs to be, a quarter of an inch at least taller. And why couldn't they do that? And this kind of annoys me just because, like I said, they're charging $55 a copy for this, and they printed 3,000 copies, so you can do the math. So, I mean, you're telling me, and I mean, like I said, there's no development costs. Obviously, they have to pay factor 5. I get that. Obviously, there are the manufacturing costs. I get that too. And they did have to pay a graphic designer to make the label art and the box art. And I get that, but for what they're charging, like I said, it should come with a better manual. That's easy. And in fact, the kinds of people that buy, physical stuff like this, like me, that's what we want. We want stuff like the manual. Like we're the kinds of people that don't like it, that new games don't, like this game doesn't have a manual at all, but that's pretty normal these days. But when you buy, something like this, I think you're looking for, the little extras, right? Because otherwise, why are you bothering? So, and as I said, I do have the Mega Turrican manual, and it's more of what you would have expected out of a manual back in the day. It's got the story, which in their defense, there's a intro cinematic in this game that does explain the story, but stuff like this used to just be taken for granted, and the fact that they didn't want to pay somebody to do it now is pretty crappy, actually. In fact, stuff like here's the smart bomb, which I'll show you the smart bomb, or I'll try to remember to when we play the game. It doesn't even mention that in here, and it's kind of non-obvious how to set off the smart bomb. And it's there, I guess. Okay, smart bomb is A plus D-pad down. All right, I'll give them that. But like, here's a screenshot. Like, you might be like, what's the smart bomb? Well, there's the smart bomb. So, you know, I mean, anything I'm showing here is not anything out of the ordinary. This is what a manual is supposed to look like. So, so yeah, we can just put, in fact, I'll use the manual to hold everything else in there. How about that? Then we get to the cartridge itself, and close that up. And pluses, it's a very nice label. The printing on it is really, really nice, and it's glossy. Like, this is probably a nicer label than a lot of the labels that you saw on games back in the day. So that's cool. And some people are concerned about this, and you should be. I'm not saying you shouldn't. The edge of the cartridge connector is beveled, so that's good. Other than that, the cartridge, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, it kind of rattles. The cartridge feels very cheap, and when you're handling it, you can feel that the PCB is rattling in there a little bit. And then just the back of the cartridge, just, you know, this is the kind of thing you'd see on like a cheap reproduction, right? Like, there's nothing on the back. It's just got the two Phillips head screws holding it together. And, you know, again, there's nothing wrong with any of this, but it's just, there's nothing premium about it, and they're charging a premium price. And so all of that being what it is, and that's kind of the reason that I brought up the Turrican anthology that Strictly Limited put out, because that felt very cash grabby for the reasons that I stated. And I got to say that I think this feels pretty cash grabby too. Like, they really did, in my opinion, the bare minimum when releasing a physical cartridge. And to be honest, you know, I see other things on their store where I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't mind having that. And after my experience with this, I don't really feel comfortable giving Strictly Limited any more of my money, because now I see their other cartridge releases, and I'm just going to assume that was sort of done in the same half-assed manner that this was. So that's really all I have to say about the Strictly Limited stuff. I'd like to spend the rest of the episode actually playing the game, because it's an awesome game. And so I have my Mega SG loaded, and I actually have the ROM on here. I mean, it doesn't really matter how we play it, I guess. In fact, I don't know, maybe that feels like a weird thing to do, so let's not do it. We'll put the cartridge in, although it's literally the exact same thing. And I'll point out what makes, you know, the director's cut the director's cut, but I'll tell you right now, it ain't much. So and then the other thing that's funny, maybe if I remember, I'll overlay it. You know, if you go to the product page at Strictly Limited's website and check it out, it says nothing about what makes the director's cut the director's cut. It also has no pictures, no photographs of the product. It has like a 3D rendering of, you know, what the box is going to look like when you get it, and then that's it. And it just says it comes with a manual, which, you know, technically it comes with a manual, but, you know, if they had shown more pictures of what it came with, would I've still bought it? I probably would have, because I have the manual, but anybody else buying it, if you think you're getting, you know, stuff like a manual or anything else really extra that's anything to be excited about, you're not. So anyway, when you load up the game, this is the screen that you are greeted with. So you have three options. We're just going to play one of them. So you have Mega Turrican. That's just standard original Mega Turrican. You have Mega Turrican Director's Cut. And then you have Mega Turrican Score Attack. And that's kind of fun. I'm not going to probably check it out unless I feel like it at, you know, sort of at the end of the video. But, you know, I don't play games for high score, so I don't really care that much about that. But from what I saw, the layout is different. So it's a way for you to check out different stuff in the game, but then like there's a timer running because you're trying to get as many points as you can. So load up the game. There you go. Factor 5. That is, you know, the development house. I mean, it's Manfred Trentz is the guy that made Turrican, but I guess that's the company. And We don't really need to watch the whole intro, but we can at least check out maybe a little bit of it. You can hear Chris Hulsbeck did the music for this game as he did for the first two, and it sounds awesome, which is why I'm saying, you know, why not include a soundtrack CD? Except then I'm sure they would have had to pay Chris Hulsbeck, because I believe he sells. I think he owns the rights to the music for these games, and he sells CDs, and I think he sells the stuff on Bandcamp too. So I'm sure they just didn't want to have to pay him. So you can see you have kind of this anime style in the intro, kind of. I don't know. I'll be honest. I love this game. I don't ever pay attention to the story, so I don't even know what the story is because I just don't care. So, okay, so now we're into the game. This first level is really pink. I don't know why. It doesn't bother me, but C jumps, B shoots, and it's auto fire. So it's like if you had turbo, you can just hold down B. And then A, you have this sort of grappling hook kind of thing going on. And if you hold down crouch and hit the jump button, then you get kind of this, I forgot what it calls it, like a power wheel or some kind of wheel, but it's limited use. And if you look up in the upper right hand corner, you have energy, and that's like your health bar, and underneath it is that white bar. And I don't know if you can tell really, but it's a little bit depleted now, because whenever you're in this little wheel mode, you can see there it's depleting. So, and once it runs out, I don't actually know how you refill it. I think you might have to either die or go to the next level. And then what else? You got number of lives down in the bottom left. Well, we have 3. It's a thing with Turrican games that you just get like tons and tons of extra lives. So you're going to see that happen here as well. And then in the bottom right, those are your smart bombs. And I don't want to really use one until I need to, so I'm not going to yet. So we'll just get started. Another thing that's different about this Turrican, Super Turrican's the same way, is that you can jump on dudes to kill them. Whereas in the older games, touching enemies in any way results in damage being done to you. So here's the pickups you can get. So that's the 3 different types of weapons you can have. The red, which I like to use, is a spread shot. Blue is a laser beam, and green is sort of this thing that bounces around. And the spread shot's kind of my go-to, but I will say that there are certain levels where I think that the other weapons are probably your better choice. Oh, and then the heart, that refills your energy. Here, listen, so it calls it a power-up, but it's a health restoration thing. I feel like when you say power-up, you're suggesting that it's going to power up your weapon or something, but it doesn't. The way you power up your weapon, sorry, I already forgot a secret area because I was talking. So here I'm going to use the grappling hook. Well, before I do, let me just say, you power up your weapon. If like we have the red weapon, which is the spread shot, you power it up by grabbing more of the red icons. But I think you only have to grab 3, and then you're fully powered up. So, it doesn't take very long to get powered up in this game, which in a way is cool. In a way, it's like I wish you had to work a little bit harder. So there's an extra life right there. I'm trying to get the time out of the way so you can see it. So there you go, 1 up. Now we have 4. And, I'm going to try to not play too sloppy, and that way you can see how many extra lives will end up saving up. But my plan was to try to play through like the first 3 levels of the game and stop there, because I'm really hoping that by me making this video, at least some of you will be inspired to try it yourself. That weird green slime looking thing, that's a shield, so obviously we want that. I don't know how many hits the shield can take. I already took 2, so and then we gotta wait for these fiery things to go by. But yeah, I'm hoping, maybe a couple of you will want to fire up the game this weekend after watching me play it. We got to get up here to get some more of these crystals. These crystals, you don't get any points for picking them up, but at the end of the level, it'll tell you how many of them you got. Like if you were able to get all of them, and that's a thing that's just always been a thing in the Turrican games. There we go. All right, now we're going to go face off with a mini-boss who isn't too much to worry about. And I'll show you when we get there, but one of the things that in the regular Mega Turrican is a secret area that you can't get to unless you collect all of the crystals in the first level. But in this director's cut, it's just like open so that you can go there no matter what. And I mean, it's not really anything that's a huge deal, but it's one of the only two differences that I know of between regular Mega Turrican and Mega Turrican director's cut. Oh, and you can see at some point I picked up missiles. You see like I'm shooting straight, but then there's those missiles kind of curving down. Those are a homing missile. So that's the two like extras you can pick up. There's the shield and these homing missiles. And those are helpful because we got to try and kill these two guys so we can go down there. And I think it's an extra life that's down there. I mean, I think there's like 6 extra lives just in this first level. Come on, guys. Yeah, there's an extra life right there. There's an extra life and a health bonus, which, you know, depending on what kind of shape you're in, you know, a health bonus can practically be another extra life, like if you're about to die. And then we got to go down here. And there's another hidden spot. See, so I triggered that thing to go back up, and then we can get in here. So I don't know if you'd call this really a hidden area. I mean, the thing with Turrican is like when you're walking by up above, you're going to see this down here. And then you're going to wonder, well, how do I get down there? Well, this is how you get down there. So you see we started the game with 3 extra lives, and now we're already up to 6. And there's still another one to go. This one's a little bit trickier to get. And here there's a chance you're going to die trying to get it. And there you go, I died. But we can still try to get it. It's because, you know, there's all this garbage that's kind of falling down here. But you have to swing up there. Oh, I almost had it. Well, I'm not going to waste too much of your time trying to get it. But, oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, I accidentally used the thing. All right. So now we're just going to stand here and wait until the garbage stops falling so we don't get killed. All right. So we got the extra life, but it cost us a life. But what are you going to do, you know? All right. So now we can go this way. So coming up over here is the first thing that is unique to the director's cut. Just a minute. We're almost there. Let me kill these guys. So you can see... I'll pause the game. You see right here to my guy's left, there's Mario frozen in carbonite. So I don't know if that's something the developers put into the game when they were designing it and then got taken out. I mean, obviously it had to get taken out before the game was released. And then over here, right next to him, there's Sonic in carbonite. So obviously neither one of those things appears in the retail release of the game. And then I always thought this was kind of weird in this level. Why are there all these vending machines in the background? I don't know. I mean, they don't bother me, but that seems strange. Like, it's too bad you can't. That'd be a cool way to get a health bonus. Would be to shoot one of those instead. But whatever. And then we got to jump over all of these things. So there's almost, you know, in some ways this game kind of reminds me of a Mega Man game with some of the obstacles and whatnot. All right, power up. Got our homing thing back there. I don't think we missed anything up here, but nah, we're good. Okay, so moving on. Like right here, to me, this seems like very like Mega Man-esque. All right, got through there. Another extra life, so now we're up to 7. I'm going to kill this guy here. Okay. I don't want those. And, okay, so now we got another... I guess this is sort of a mini-boss, you would kind of call it. Which is funny, because this kind of reminds me of, like, Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage 2, when you're... when you go into the baseball stadium and then the pitcher's mound turns into an elevator, this kind of reminds me of that. So then there's that. Okay, and then now coming up over here, so this is an area that is not in regular Mega Turrican unless you have, I believe it's, you have to have collected all of the jewels up to this point, and your score has to be like ending in a certain digit. And we're about to die again because I am running out of time. But that's all right. There you go. Dead. See, and you can see there's stuff above us, so we need to try to figure out how to get up there. One trick you can use in this game, I don't know if it's going to work right here, is generally if you can shoot through a wall like that, that's your clue that that you can go through it. And I'm not as familiar with this area because usually I just play regular Mega Turrican rather than this version. Okay, so I think we can leave here now. I'll take the shield. That's not what we wanted to do. Like I said, I'm not used to playing through this area quite as much. So I think we need to swing across this one too. Yeah. And then we want to figure out how to get down there if we can. Oh, and if you accidentally grappling hook something like I just did, if you just hit it again, you retract it. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get down there. Nope. Oh, there we go. All right. And we're about to die again because I'm playing a little bit too fast and loose. But hopefully, like I said, I'm just trying to make it to the third stage if I can. No. Sorry. Oh, there we go. See, so I mean, I've barely got any energy left, so like that's as good as an extra life right there. So that's nice. Before we go that way, let's check out what's popping over here. We should go the other way first, I think. Oh, good. Extra life there. Don't know how to get in there. Oh, there we go. So then here we can grab these that way. How do I get out? Ah, there we go. All right, now we go this way. Oh, I didn't know that was a pit. This is still all part of the bonus area, by the way. Another one up, which is good because I've been dying a lot. Grab those. So now we're back in the bonus area. So this is where we would have ended up after we did that sort of elevator thing. If it was just the regular game. And then if we got to go over here. This is kind of a tough jump to make. I made it the first time, but oftentimes I don't. To get into here, because then here's another extra life and some missiles. So it's not bad. See, we're up to 8 extra lives. Then we just jump back down here. There's nothing interesting over there. I think that may have been the last extra life, if I remember correctly. We can go this way, grab those. And pretty much now I think we're just headed towards the level 1 boss. Which is a pretty cool boss in my opinion. Alright, so now we have to go back up here again. Grab that. Some more of these things. Yeah, alright, so here is the level 1 boss. So basically a giant pile of hamburger meat, which kind of reminiscent of Life Force. And what you got to do is you have to swing back and forth because the only thing you can hit is that cluster of eyeballs. But I mean, it's a pretty easy boss because then as soon as you do that, you just swing back over to the other side. And, oh, nope, eyeballs went the other way. That's it. So that was pretty long, right? That's Mega Turrican level 1 with the bonus area. Overall, I would say pretty easy. I say that I died a few times. Oh yeah, see, I got 185 diamonds collected. I missed none. 8 lives collected, missed 0. So basically, that would be a perfect playthrough were it not for the fact that I died several times. The second level, really good graphics. It's one thing I didn't mention is I feel like overall this Mega Turrican is like a real like showcase game for the Genesis. Just really good graphics, and in particular, this second level looks really nice. This second level, this is one of the hardest levels for me to play. You see when I jumped on this platform over here, it's like unstable. It'll start spinning around and you'll fall. And then you also notice that these little dudes now all of a sudden shoot at you. So you kind of got to take this level, in my opinion, a little bit more slowly. Shoot that thing. There's just a lot more ways to die, and there's a lot more things trying to kill you. And then I don't know what these like mecha crabs are. That they shoot these bubbles at you that do a lot of damage, but also take a lot of hits themselves to kill the bubbles and the crabs. And then this water falling down will also hurt you, so you have to like time your jump. Like that. So, like I said, it's just with this level, I think you want to be just a little bit more cautious. And if you are, then it's really not a big deal. And see, like I said, that falling water hurts you. So you want to be careful. And you don't want to go like rushing through and jump too fast because you don't want to hit like those bubbles. Like these guys. A good way to get rid of these guys is actually to use your power wheel like that. And then this is kind of a tough jump. There you go. But you see, if you take it slow and just, make sure you don't miss any of the power-ups so you can refill your health. At least so far, it's not too bad. But you see, I just took 2 hits right there, so that's not cool. And then, see, now somehow the water falls and this doesn't hurt you. So I have no control because it's like a little animation. So now we have to jump in the water. And yeah. So you see up there, there is one of those little power-up crates. So you got to figure out how to get up there. So again, you can use your head here to try to see, okay, is there a spot here where it's like a false wall? And there's not, but what there is, it's up here. So you jump in that way. And then you get over here and you have to kind of wheel through. And then extra life and a health power up. And then I think you can just jump out. Yeah, over there. So now we have 9 lives. Like a cat. And then those, sorry, I didn't really point it out. I just killed it. But those little cannon things, they just seem like they're part of the background. And so it'd be really easy to miss those. Now we go over here. See, like there's one right there. Oh, and then there's these snaky things that come out of the water. Those are annoying. Oh, and then, okay, those are like electrified eels. So if you're in the water when that thing does its thing, you're going to get hurt. So, try not to be, I guess. There's another extra life. Whoa, no thank you. And then you can see it's easy to miss. There's all these little power-up crates. Not all, but there's a second one. Sort of at the bottom. And that one was not an extra life, it just refilled our health. And then I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah. So here. You have to. I forgot. We'll figure it out. But I think here you have to swing. Yeah, there you go. From underneath. And then there's another extra life. Now we have 11. We're getting towards the end here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's the end of like the first section, I guess, of the second level. And so now we're like 100% underwater. And here is where you may find that one of the other weapons works better. I like the green one. And I don't know if I can remember where all the extra lives are. There's a bunch of extra lives down here. And especially since you're able to just float around like this, this is a good spot to sort of use that technique I told you about, where you just kind of shoot the walls. And which kind of reminds me, because I got to kind of give a shout out. A buddy of mine, Austin, has a channel called Gameplay and Talk. And I learned how to play this game, or, you know, kind of learned sort of the secrets to playing the game from watching his playthrough. He does like complete playthroughs of games, but like, unlike me, he's like really good at playing video games. And so, you know, you can kind of watch him, and it's sort of like having a game coach or something. And so like the whole technique of shooting the walls to look for secret areas, like I got that from him. So like, see down here, here's a secret area. One up, now we got 12. I don't know if I'll be able to find all of the secrets. I just don't remember where all of them are down here, but we'll find as many as we can. Dead. Oh man, they started me off at the beginning. That's brutal. All right, power up and shield, and I'm going to go back to this thing. I mean, this level is a little bit more challenging too, just because like the controls kind of change, because now you're sort of swimming, and so like you have to move yourself up and down. So here's another little secret area. Power up, shields, and a 1-up. So we got back the life that we lost, so that's nice. And then I think up here there's just a weapon that we don't want, but let's go double check. Yeah. Wouldn't mind the homing missile there, so. Yeah. That's like a laser beam or something. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think it's the best weapon for this area. And then in some parts of the game, the enemies do not regenerate, but here they do. So, you know, you got to be careful. We didn't need that, but I'll take it. Oh. And then I think, yeah, you can see there's an extra life right there just sitting out in the open. But, you know, you don't want to be in too big of a hurry to go get it. Yeah, see, I got it, but it cost me a life, so not really a good trade. And you can see that when you die, your weapon gets kind of downgraded. So like now we need to pick up some more little green icons to power back up. But we're headed towards the boss now, and there'll be opportunity. Oh, I thought I just died again. This boss can be a little bit tough. It's funny, like, they keep giving you these green things. It's like the game really wants you to understand that this is the weapon you want to use for this boss. So this boss is kind of a pain. Sometimes I kill him without dying, and sometimes I don't. So you can only shoot him in the head, and then you have to, like, position yourself because he does these things with his tentacles. This boss kind of reminds me of Life Force. I forgot which boss it is in Life Force that kind of acts like this. Whoops. There we go. Or no, there we don't go. There we go. All right. So not bad. Didn't die. Wasn't perfect. Got 103 diamonds, but I'm sure that's not all of them. But that's the end of level 2. So it's kind of not my favorite level, but it's kind of grown on me a little bit. I mean, the swimming thing is definitely different. So now we're coming out of the... So we only missed 17 diamonds. That's not bad. We missed 3 extra lives, but they were all in that second room, I think. There's a lot more areas, you know, sort of the first underwater area. And then this area can be a little bit tough. You have to always, whenever you're given the chance, you always want to jump to the next platform. All right, and then I think that's it. Nope. Or maybe. Oh, yeah, okay. And, I mean, that part's kind of cool, but I think coming up here is another sort of, like, showcase area for me. I just think that the graphics in here look really awesome. Very reminiscent, in my opinion, of Contra 3. And then one thing I don't like about this area is it's kind of like there's all these mini-bosses you have to deal with, which I'm not a huge fan of. But, I mean, you can use your smart bombs, but you can also use your power wheel to stay away from the guy. This big, gigantic Mecha Fist is sort of a mainstay boss of the Turrican series. And you can see by just using the wheel for, like, short bursts, you don't really deplete that white bar too terribly much. Oh, but then it's got those bouncing spiky balls are a real pain. They don't take that many shots to kill, but they take more than one. This is another area where I think the spread shot is the best. And then doing this kind of thing where you have this hill you have to climb up while enemies are coming down, that's like another thing that's like so Turrican. And then here we come to another platform, and now we have another mini-boss. This is the kind of boss where, you know, like in the older Turrican games where you had like that energy rope, or I don't remember what the game called it, but get out of here. That would have been really helpful, because part of the thing with those bosses is that you have to turn around so that you can shoot them. There's another 1-up. So now we have 13. But this is what I'm talking about, these spiky balls, especially when there's other areas like that where you're climbing up a hill here, and you have those balls bouncing down the hill. So this is the kind of level where it's easy to go through some of those extra lives that you've been picking up. And you see we've only got 2 energy bars left, which is really like we can take one shot. And then this mini boss is like stupid easy. Because he just bounces back and forth, and so you just stay under him, and then no problem. Of course, I say that and then watch me accidentally die, but... There you go. Oh, there we go. We got a power up, which, again, just to repeat myself, since we were almost dead, that's like as good as an extra life. Speaking of which, there's an extra life. I don't remember. There we go. So here's a secret area. There's a 1-up. I think there's a couple of 1-ups down here, though. Could be wrong on that. Yep, there we go. But you see, you got to be careful down here because there's also a ton of things that are trying to kill you. Yet another 1-up. And then I think to get out of here, we have to go up and then deal with that thing. Right? Yeah. I didn't really want that, but that's okay. Okay. That's the end of that section. But once again, we're not done. What do we got in here? I'll take that back and that. I think this is just the boss battle, though. And then this guy's not too bad once you know how to kill him. So this fist thing comes down. And then once that happens, you just want to stay here. And you stay underneath that fire coming out. And then you just got to get out of the way of the fist again. And then just get back on him. Get out of the way of the fist again. There, the fist came down. There you go. And that's it. So, although is that the boss or the mini boss? Now I don't remember. I don't think it's the boss now that I think about it. Yeah, that was not the boss. I think this is another mini boss. This guy again. So I've only got one smart bomb left, so I'd rather not use it right now. And we're dead. All right, and we're alive again. Oh, so I got my 3 smart bombs back, so I'll just use one. And this part kind of sucks because, like, you know, you're going to land on these guys and it's going to pop you up in the air. And then, yeah, I'm dead again. And then you're going to hit that swinging ball. So it's like setting you up for failure. And plus now my weapon has been completely downgraded, so that's not helping. But we have 15 lives, so I'm really not too worried about it. There we go. Much better. Okay, this, I believe, is the boss. See, and you have to shoot that claw. And actually, might as well just... I mean, why not? Oh. Sorry, Ladybird. My cat's by my feet, I didn't realize. Oh, we got all the extra lives and all the diamonds, because there weren't very many. So, that's the first 3 levels of Mega Turrican. That's level 4, but I'm not going to play level 4. So, this video is well over an hour long now anyway, so it's a good stopping point. So, but I hope watching that makes you think, hey, this seems like a good weekend to play some Mega Turrican. And that's it. That take-home message. Play Mega Turrican. In my opinion, do not buy these strictly limited releases. You know, I bought these quite some time ago, and they still have a lot left, so I can only assume that that the word got out on those. So that's it for this episode. I'm going to have another video coming out very soon, maybe even tomorrow. If you listen to the podcast, here's my question for you. Then you may already know what it's about. It's about that Nintendo folder that I got. And if you don't know what that's about, then you'll have to wait for the video to come out. If you don't listen to Here's My Question for You, the podcast that Coury and I do together, you should. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of CGQ Plus. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.